Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we've got something pretty special to talk about because Hello Games just dropped the newest No Man's Sky update, the Breach update version 6.10. And it's one of those patches that not only adds new content, but actually changes how parts of the game feel when you're out exploring the stars. So if you're like me and have been keeping an eye on the Corvette stuff or the expeditions, this one's absolutely worth your time. There's a lot packed in here, and I'm going to walk you through everything from what this update actually brings to how it feels when you play it, plus a few tips on how to make the most of the new expedition and the fresh mechanics it introduces. So let's start with the biggest highlight, the new limited time expedition called Breach. If you've been around No Man's Sky for a while, you know the expeditions are these special events where everyone basically starts fresh on a shared journey through a curated storyline. They usually last a few weeks, and this one is no different. But what makes Breach stand out is the atmosphere. The whole expedition has this eerie, desolate vibe. You're exploring a version of the universe that feels almost broken. It's quiet, haunting, and it really leans into the mysterious, slightly unnerving side of the game's lore, especially anything related to the Atlas. Right away, when you start the expedition, you'll notice how stripped down everything feels. You spawn in this strange, lonely part of space, and there's this sense that something went seriously wrong with reality. The missions slowly guide you through investigating a massive wreck known as the Fireship Arcadia, which becomes a central focus of the story. It's like piecing together fragments of a lost civilization, and if you love No Man's Sky's lore and cryptic messages, you're going to enjoy what Hello Games did here. It's not just about collecting resources or ticking boxes, it's got some emotional weight behind it. Now, the new gameplay feature tied to this update is easily one of my favorites so far: space wreckage exploration. You can actually exit your ship in deep space now, not just in freighters or on planets, and float around in zero gravity to explore wrecked Corvettes. These are massive hulks drifting in the void, and the feeling of approaching one for the first time is incredible. You pull up close, power down your ship, step out into space, and it's just you, your suit, and this massive dead vessel looming in front of you. You can use your multi-tool to cut off old modules and salvage parts, which can then be used back at your own Corvette workshop. It's immersive, it's eerie, and it really adds a whole new flavor to space exploration. Speaking of the Corvette workshop, this update massively expands what you can do with your own Corvette. They've added tons of new modules, everything from shield generators and weapon systems to landing gear and decorative pieces. There's also a really welcome new feature that lets you apply a color or material to your entire Corvette at once. Before, you had to change pieces individually, which was kind of a pain if you wanted to do big design overhauls. Now, it's smooth and satisfying to retheme your entire ship in one go. The building tools have been polished too. Snapping is more accurate, collision detection is improved, and they even fixed that annoying issue where sometimes the doors or stairs would just throw you out into the void if you weren't careful. What's even better is that a lot of the new parts you find in the expedition are Atlas themed. They've got this sleek, almost sacred design language. Glowing red accents, smooth geometric shapes, that mysterious otherworldly aesthetic the Atlas always has. Um, you'll see it in things like the new Aeron drive, the Atlas blade, and the power shield. When you equip them, not only do they look stunning, but they actually enhance your Corvette's functionality in cool ways. And all these parts can be earned as expedition rewards. So if you want your Corvette to look and feel like it came straight out of the Atlas network, this event is the perfect time to do it. While all this new content is exciting, Hello Games didn't stop there. The Breach update is loaded with fixes and improvements that really smooth out the experience. They addressed some long-standing issues, especially ones that affected Corvette gameplay. For example, they fixed a problem where sometimes you'd be randomly ejected into space while climbing your Corvette's stairs during pulse drive, which, yeah, was both funny and terrifying when it happened. They also fixed teleporters that would sometimes appear in the wrong places or just not work right. First-person weapon alignment in the Corvette was corrected, and the overall scale and collision for certain ship interiors were fine-tuned, so now everything feels more solid and immersive. Performance-wise, it's also a noticeable improvement. They worked on lighting optimizations, engine performance, and general stability across all platforms. The Switch in particular got a bit of extra attention this time with specific performance boosts that make the handheld version feel smoother and more stable than before. It's really impressive how Hello Games keeps managing to make this massive game run better and better with every update, even after all these years. One of the coolest small additions that I think deserves some credit is how they improved mission readability and multiplayer markers. It's a subtle thing, but if you've played with friends, you know how chaotic it can get when you're all trying to locate objectives or see each other across systems. The update improves marker visibility and synchronization, so now it's easier to know where your crew is and what they're doing. They also cleaned up the catalog recipe display and fixed a few issues where missions would give unclear or incorrect guidance. It's those little touches that don't make flashy headlines, but make a big difference when you're actually playing. Now, back to the expedition, because that's where a lot of the magic happens. The Breach Expedition isn't just a random collection of tasks, it's a whole experience. The narrative unfolds gradually as you progress through the stages, revealing more about what happened to the Fireship Arcadia and the strange universe you're exploring. There's this underlying sense of melancholy and curiosity that fits perfectly with No Man's Sky's tone. It's about uncovering fragments of something lost, piecing together meaning in the void, and maybe finding a bit of yourself in the process. It's philosophical, but that's kind of what makes this game special. The rewards for completing the expedition are genuinely worth the grind too. You'll earn unique Atlas-themed ship parts, posters to decorate your bases or Corvettes, a new starship trail that gives off this eerie Atlas glow, and even some exclusive customization options that make your ships look like they've been touched by the Atlas itself. And once you've finished the expedition, you can redeem those rewards across your main saves, so all that effort pays off long term. If you're wondering how to start it, it's pretty straightforward. From the main menu, just choose the Community Expedition option, or if you're already in your game, head to the Space Anomaly and access the Expedition Terminal. Once you're in, you'll be placed in that alternate universe, and the adventure begins. The expedition should run for about 3 weeks, so you've got a decent window to complete it, but don't wait too long. These events don't stick around forever, and once it's gone, you'll have to wait for Hello Games to reissue it in the future. One thing I really like about this update is how it expands on the sense of scale in space. Those Corvette wrecks floating in the void are massive, and exploring them feels genuinely tense. The lighting is darker, the ambience more subdued, and when you're out there, you can almost hear the silence. It captures that feeling of isolation that No Man's Sky does so well. But this time, it's blended with a sense of purpose. You're not just drifting aimlessly, you're hunting for pieces of history, trying to rebuild something powerful from the wreckage. And let's be honest, the zero-gravity EVA gameplay just feels awesome. The first time I left my ship in the middle of deep space and floated toward a wreck, it hit me how far this game has come since its launch. It used to be about exploring simple planets and gathering resources, and now you're literally salvaging massive capital ships in the void. That's evolution. Hello Games continues to push the boundaries of what No Man's Sky can be, and this update is another step in that direction. Of course, no update would be complete without some classic bug squashing, and there's a long list of fixes here. They addressed problems like crashes around derelict airlocks, hangs when jumping to the galaxy center, and even issues when using too many Corvette weapons at once. The game feels more stable, more reliable, and less prone to those random hiccups that used to occasionally pull you out of the immersion. It's clear that Hello Games isn't just adding new toys, they're polishing the old ones too. I think what's most impressive, though, is how this update continues to build on the foundation laid by the Echoes and Omega updates earlier this year.